Alright, I'm not sure if this thing is running or not. And I do apologize because I thought I was going to have time to go outside and use the bathroom, but apparently not. I'm about to pee in a bottle. There's no genie in it, though, so it's not like I'm trying to hate on Christina Aguilera. There's a lot of terminology that if people don't get the terminology or don't understand the terminology, they're going to interpret it wrong just because they don't understand. There's also people who are going to pretend not to understand because they know they can contort it or twist it in such a way. Anybody who has ever played video games online knows what the fuck a troll is. What's a troll? Well, the Bollinger's cronies, those are trolls. Trolls are people who don't fucking know what the hell is going on, but they always have an opinion, and their opinion is whatever it is that'll annoy you the most. And once they find something that annoys you, they will fucking push on that button. Now, you guys know a lot of these people in person. Those of you who speak out about racism and you hear somebody say the N word, there's a lot of people like me who say, hey, I don't like that word. What do antagonists do? You tell them you don't like that word, and they fucking say it 10 times in fucking 30 seconds, don't they? Every other word is the fucking N word, isn't it? That's a troll. Let me give you another example of a real life troll. Let's say you're down on the Pearl Street Mall and you're minding your business, and some college kid comes up and starts shit with you. You just want to be left the fuck up alone, right? So you get up and you try walking down the street a little bit, and this fucking loudmouth little bastard wants to start screaming at you, calling you a coward, calling you a piece of shit, telling you you just need to get a fucking job. You ain't done shit to this guy, right? But he just wants to be an asshole because he's fucking entitled. Never mind the fact that he's black, so it must be okay for him to do this to white people. He's black, so it must be okay for him to do this to homeless people. He's black. That is your fucking excuse? Are you fucking shitting me? I'm gonna tell you something. If it's wrong for white people to force black people to pick cotton in a field, it is equally as wrong for black people to force white people to pick cotton in that same goddamn field. Wrong is wrong regardless of color. Wrong is wrong regardless of gender. Now, if you go into court and you're talking about trolls, and that judge is fucking 65 years old, he's never played a fucking computer game in his life, and he has issues with handling the computer that's in his office that he has to use every day. Yeah, you start talking about all the trolls that are fucking harassing you. You sound fucking schizophrenic. You might as well have said to him that you jumped out of fucking a storybook and you were just hanging out with the lion from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Then there's other terminology that, like leading somebody on. You guys tend to get it in your heads that that's always something sexual. No, when you say that you're going to help me and I'm spending my resources there because you promised you were going to help me and then you don't, my resources are gone. I can't get those resources back. I can't get that time back. But it's fine, though. You got all them excuses that you can't say them in court. You can give me those excuses for months on end. How about stop making fucking excuses and keep your goddamn word? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm autistic, so I must be a retard. Fucking idiot. There's a lot of people who led me on. They led me on to believe that they were going to help me, and they didn't. That's not my fault or my choice. And I have every right to be pissed off after all of the abuse that I've had to go through and all of the empty fucking promises over and over and over again. And each one of these people wants to pretend like their own contribution wasn't that fucking major. No, it is major. It is pretty fucking major. All of these people, for over 3 years, have known that I'm being victimized for a narrative that's not fucking true. And you look at what the fucking cops did. Listen to them conversations on here between myself and Aaron Cockerham, myself and Miss Peaches, myself and Brandon. You'll realize pretty fucking quick, fast, and in a goddamn hurry why I'm pissed off at them. I told the truth from day fucking one. I should not have had to threaten my predators back. I should not have had to go to Facebook or YouTube about this, or any of the other situations before this that myself and other homeless people and other disabled people have had to go through. You guys get up in the morning, you put on your fucking clothes, you bitch that it's cold because you had to go in your puffy ass jacket from your door to your fucking car. Oh, fucking no. Poor you. And that's during the day when it started to warm up. And you're not soaked to the fucking bone from having to sleep on it. But you're cold, aren't you? And you'll probably complain about how cold it is all fucking day. Except when you walk inside of a building and you say, whew, I'm glad to be out of the cold. It's always magically justified when it's happening to somebody else, ain't it? That's what BLM has taught me. They got the laws here in Nebraska. They're trying to make it so that it's even more illegal to racially profile somebody of color. It's already fucking illegal. It's illegal like 3 times over in the state of fucking Nebraska. It's also illegal like 5 times over on the federal level. It's already fucking illegal. Making something that's illegal and not enforced even more illegal with no way to enforce it, again, is not going to get it enforced. It is not going to fix the problem, and neither is blaming all of the fucking white people. Ignoring the other victims who are going through this same shit. Maybe you should stop and think to yourself, hey, we're getting railroaded because there's more of them than there are of us. There's not. There's not more of them than there are of us. It's just the fact that you don't consider me one of us, BLM, because I'm not black. You don't consider me one of us, those of you in houses, because I don't have a house. I'm not considered one of us when it comes to these women's groups because I'm not a woman. But you look at the things that BLM is complaining about the most. I got to deal with that worse. Because BLM don't give a fuck about me. Zayde Atkinson had to go through that shit once. I've had to go through 4 goddamn years of it. That's after an entire life of it prior to that. And then 4 years of hell from Natalie and her fucking junkies. 3 years of even more compounded hell from her family and their junkies and the extended junkies and the fucking cops who didn't care because I don't look the part of a victim. I don't look sweet and fucking innocent, do I? I can't just bat my eyes and fucking flash my tits and get out of a goddamn parking ticket, can I? sorry, I meant teats. That's more politically correct, isn't it? But the fact is, I'm not going to refer to them as breasts in that context because they are not breasts. Breasts or mammaries are for feeding babies. The moment you start sexualizing them, women, the moment you start sexualizing your chest because you're trying to get out of a parking ticket, whether it's perking them up, which most of you do. Yes, I've been in the vehicle with many women who got pulled over. And guess what? They very rarely get a fucking ticket when pulled over. And guess what? Most of them do this. Most! At that point, your complaint about how you should be allowed to walk around topless because those are for feeding babies and people shouldn't sexualize them or objectionalize them or take advantage of them. But then here you are sexualizing those and manipulating those to your advantage, knowing that what you're doing is immoral. You know you were fucking speeding. You were caught red fucking handed. Yeah, you were going 78 and a 55. You should have gone to fucking jail. In most states, being that much over the speed limit is mandatory jail time. Mandatory. That means if they pull you over going 20 miles over the speed limit, they legally have to arrest you. And if they let you go because you did this, they broke the law too. When a man is raped or molested, it takes an act of God to do something. People just don't give a fuck. We're not your stereotypical victims, so it must be okay to ignore us. Absolutely not. There are 28 million men in America who were raped or molested before they turned 18. 28 million. That's a lot of fucking people. That's not an arbitrary goddamn number. All right. Let's take a look at Luxembourg. Luxembourg population 2020. There are 625,978 people in the entire country of Luxembourg. So we have roughly 50 times as many male victims of sexual abuse in the United States as the entire population of Luxembourg. Not the entire population of victims of Luxembourg, but every single man, woman, and child in Luxembourg. That is not a trivial number. That is not a small number. When you're talking about a population or a prison population of, what is it, 2.7 million? 80% of them were homeless before being incarcerated. See, that's where most of us go. We go from being in the system. See, here's where it starts. It starts at home. You try to turn in your abusers at home and you get locked up in the system. then you have no credibility. Every person in the system knows that they can get away with doing whatever they want. They can just lie to you or deny it or go lie to somebody, and just because they slip those few words into somebody else's ear, you must be wrong and nobody's going to hear you. Talk about the sexual bullshit and the sexual assaults and the sexual abuse. You show evidence that you're telling the truth. And then you get told by a bunch of women that it's all men's fault. And they start stuffing all this statistic crap. Well, women are more likely to. Hold on a second. The reason I'm using these statistics, I'm trying to explain to you that instead of blowing us off, which is what you're using your statistics to do, to basically imply that male victims don't fucking matter, I'm trying to tell you guys what's going on, what it is like for males. And I'm told that men are the reason for all of this. Other men's actions are used as an excuse not to listen to me. But then again, you listen to the men who commit those acts. That man who beats you, you listen to him, don't you? But I'm not beating you, am I? The worst you get out of me is some fucking curse words, and you got to do some awful goddamn fucked up shit to get those. If I'm calling you a cunt, people are already injured or fucking dead because of something that you've done. Yeah, I'm not going to take that lying down, especially not if it's someone I care about. Now, you guys see me speaking out about Elijah McClain and Demetria Shankling. I didn't know either one of those two. I did know the officers involved in their situation. Nobody cares about the law. We got to the point about 5 years ago where, well, it was pretty much useless to fight back. 5 years ago, we could have worked together and we could have found a peaceful resolution to this. But now they got too much fucking power, and who is they? Well, that would be the pedophiles. I don't know why everybody's so pissed off about Biden being a fucking pedophile. I don't. I mean, seriously, why are you going to pretend that one pedophile is any worse than another? They're all fucking pedophiles. All of them. Donald Trump, Joe fucking Biden, it don't matter. It's just trickle down bullshit. None of these people have consequences for fucking your kids. They're all exempt from U.S. laws, apparently. Meanwhile, we're exempt in the other direction. See, they're allowed the Constitution, but don't have to follow the laws. Us, we have to follow the laws, but we have no rights to the Constitution. God bless America, right? And then there's terminology that is regional, like, soda and pop and soda pop. If you say soda, you're probably from the East Coast. If you say pop, you're probably from the West Coast. And if you say soda pop, you're probably from Denver. I got Tourette syndrome, so there's special terminology that goes along with that, like ticks. But you can't say that when somebody's asking if you're on drugs because you're winking at them and you say you got ticks. Yeah, they kind of treat you like you're fucking crazy. When you got somebody there in person to fucking speak up and say, hey man, but do they? when they speak up for you? Are they saying things that are helpful, or are they doing what Graham did? Because Graham didn't fucking, he spoke for me. And because he spoke for me, that officer had already decided that he didn't have to actually do anything, that it was just something where some fucking schizo was fucking. And that's the thing. That's all Graham's fault. That's not my fault. From that moment on, that fucking officer just fucking treated it nonchalant like it didn't fucking matter. And after seeing those fucking tapes, I see why. With the cops here repeatedly telling me that they won't give me those body camera fucking footage. Not unless I get a lawyer. It's the only way they're allowed to give it to me, and so on and so forth. So basically, they make it so that I have to spend a lot of money, and that money isn't going to do any good because I'm still not allowed to speak. They were allowed to do the nasty things that they did because nobody cared about me. They wanted to pretend, but when it came to keeping their word, they proved that they don't. Now, with that situation with Mike Boudet, I mean, that resulted in a lot more people harming me. That's the thing, is that I need to be allowed to defend myself. I need to be allowed to show my side and to show my evidence. And I need to be able to do it in a court of law. I know a lot of people are pissed off because I posted their shit up, posted our conversations up of the stories that I had told from the fucking start. You'd have thought that instead of fucking admitting it to me on the phone fucking 3 years later, that you'd actually done something 3 years ago. That's not a hint, Brandon. That's not a hint, Peaches. That's not a hint, Katie Cahill. That's not a fucking hint. I'm pretty fucking direct. It's not my fault that people want it to be fucking sugar coated. You want to fucking go through the niceties bullshit and the fucking courtesies. Yeah, fuck you. I shouldn't have to go through fucking 4 mountains of courtesy to get help with the abuse.